Hello everyone, my name is Amreen Firdaus Ahmed and I am from Assam and I am standing here to deliver a speech on topic Depression in Children, a Sad Truth. Although most of the people think that depression is an adult illness, children and adolescents can also develop depression. Unfortunately, many children with depression go untreated because of the adults not noticing it. It's important for parents, teachers and other adults to learn about childhood depression. When you understand the symptoms of depression in children and the reasons why children develop it, you can intervene in a helpful manner. To begin with, let us make clear what is depression. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, depression is described as a serious mental disorder in which a person suffers long time sadness, loneliness and other negative feelings. Depression affects how you feel about yourself, such as lack of concentration, lack of energy, lost interest in work and hobbies, and have trouble in insomnia. Depression makes life more and more difficult. More importantly, according to the World Health Organization, major depression is the leading cause of mental disorder for people in the age group of 14 to 44. Recent estimates show that about 10 to 15% of children and teens experience depression at a very small age. The first effect is negative behavior. Depressed teenagers tend to be violent and have reckless behaviors. As a case in point, some teenagers may engage in dangerous activities such as using of alcohol or drugs, or have the desire to end their life in violence. Besides, depression also makes negative feeling, which is the facilitator of masking problems such as lack of energy and concentration. This can impact on both working and study. The most serious effect is suicide and self-harm and self-mutilation. Kids are asked to grow up much earlier. Children and teens are becoming anxious at a much larger rate than in past years. The culture we live now puts much more pressure on young people at a younger age, forcing them to grow up. The anxiety is crippling if left untreated, and with the amount of people experiencing it, it is a social problem worth looking into. Millions of teens out there are risking their lives for some of the things in the world that shouldn't even exist. Many of the reasons are violence at home, death of a close one, feeling worthless, but the most important, cyberbullying. Being called as an idiot or stupid might not seem like a big deal, but it can affect one's life. The teen which has been bullied can also commit suicide, which in 2005, over 50,000 people died violent deaths. About 32,000 of those deaths were suicides. To make matters worse, 35% of those teens died because of cyberbullies. Next, teen that takes their lives. But for what else? Studies show that if a teen has had a loved one pass over, it causes depression, soon having the consequence of the teen committing suicide. Another example of a teen committing suicide is by being picked on, teased, loved, or by rejected people. Feeling like this seems to another main reason that a teenager would put their life on danger. Can children really have depression? Yes. Childhood depression is different from the normal blues or everyday emotions that children go through as they develop. Just because a child seems sad doesn't really mean that they have significant depression. But if the sadness becomes persistent or interferes with normal social activities, interests, schoolwork or family life, it may mean that they have depressive illness. What causes depression in children? As in adults, depression in children can be caused by many combination of things that relate to physical health, life events, family history, environment, genetic vulnerability, and biochemical disturbance. Depression is not a passing mode, nor it is a condition that will go away without proper treatment. Can depression in children be prevented? Children with a family history of depression are also at higher risk of depression. Children who have parents with depression tend to have their first episode of depression earlier than children whose parents do not have that condition. Children from chaotic or conflicted families or children and teens who abuse substances like alcohol and drugs are also at greater risk of depression. Depression in children and teens often presents differently than it does in adults. Irritability and anger are more common signs of depression in children and teens. Additionally, young children often find it difficult to explain how they are feeling, while teens may attempt to hide their emotions, fearing judgment from others. Because normal behaviors vary as children develop, it can be challenging to know if your child is going through a phase or is something more serious. The first step towards helping a child to battle depression is learning how to spot it. There are certain signs which includes changes in appetite or weight, feeling or appearing depressed, sad, cheerful or irritable, fatigue or perceived lack of energy, feeling guilty or ashamed, having more trouble concentrating, loss of interest or pleasure in previously enjoyed activities, recurrent thought of suicide or death, sleep disturbance, insomnia and hypersomnia nearly every day. In addition to the above symptoms, some children may have physical complaints such as stomach aches, headaches, substances use, and poor school performances. While stressful life events like divorce may contribute to depression, only a small piece of the puzzle. Many other factors, including genetics, also play a major role in its development. Ultimately, it's up to the guardians to decide what treatment options to employ. It's important for parents and teachers to educate themselves about treatment and potential risks and benefits of each option. A word from a very well. Every single one of us in the world can make a difference. How? Help! Take your children and teens to counselors, talk to them, make them feel cared about. Most of the teens long for attention, and to get it, they commit suicide. Don't let them do it. They should already feel cared about by the family, friends, and their peers. Childhood depression can have a serious impact on a child's life, or it's always important to be on the lookout for warning signs that a child may be depressed. Talk to your child about what they are feeling and careful to remain supportive and non-judgmental. As Plato once said, be kinder than necessary. Everyone is fighting some kind of battle. You might not hear the screams, but they're calling out for your help. Let's all come together and this terrible thing that exists, make it cease to exist. No matter what the circumstances, nobody deserves to feel worthless. If all of us intend to come together as one, we can put a stop to teenage depression and suicide. And trust me, we all wouldn't regret making an impact on someone's life. Thankfully, early interventions can help kids get back on their track before symptoms of depression take a serious toll on their lives and ability of functions. Thank you.